First and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody for your attendance today. I know there's a lot of other things that you could possibly be doing, but we really appreciate the fact that you came out today. And most of you have received a personal invite from myself inviting you here because we're asking you to become members of the LOC, which is the local organizing committee for the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. 20 years ago, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called 1 million men to Washington, D.C. Not 1 million came, but 2 million came. Out of those 2 million men, 85% of them were Christians. 15%, the rest were Muslim. There was Latinos, there was blacks, it was all of us that we all came down under the umbrella at that time to go back into our communities and fix up our communities. So he asked us to take a pledge, not to put our hands on women, to go back and become good men, good husbands, good character-minded people. He asked us to come back and join different organizations. So we have representatives from the Q Side 5 here. Brother Randolph, let's give him a round of applause. We have Paul Carey here, a member of the Kappa fraternity. And I'll introduce the rest as we continue to grow, but I want you to know that we came back and we joined organizations. Now we're asked to go back again, 20 years later, under a different umbrella, a more serious umbrella. It's justice or else. As you well know, blacks are getting shot and killed regularly in the streets. Well, somebody got to stand up and say enough is enough. Amen. And there's one thing that we as a people have never did, and that's unite. That's actually come together regardless of your religious affiliation, regardless of what you do outside. Man, we need to come together. And we got to help Central Pennsylvania mobilize the people to go down to the march, but then more importantly, when we come back, we got to meet consistently and talk about the problems in our city and talk about what we're going to do. And not just talk. Talk is over now. Talk doesn't stop the bullet from hitting a 12 or a 14-year-old student walking in the streets because a police officer just had an impulse to shoot a black man. See, we got to come together. We're a very small city, 50,000 people here. We all have relationships with everybody. I know the police chief, you know the police chief, we know the superintendent, we know all the heads of organizations. Why not come together? Because justice is the tool that God will use during the day of judgment. And it looks like it's the day of judgment to me. It don't look like it's a peaceful place. Don't look like God has his hand on it. The minister teaches us that the enemy is going to sick us more and more and more until we do unite. That's right. So if all these impediments that are stopping us from coming together, if we don't remove them, God is going to remove them for us. That's right. So when you see the white police officers continuously shooting us, oh, that's designed by God. Because he said we need to come together under one umbrella. That's right. You say Jesus, we say Allah, there's only one God. So we have to come together in order to save our community. Now we can leave this meeting and say, boy, this is a good meeting. I heard from a few speakers. We got a minister, Brother Victor, is coming from Pittsburgh. He's going to be our keynote speaker today. You're going to be excited and happy when you leave, but man, after that, we got to work. That's right. We can't just go home, watch television, and see our brothers and sisters getting shot, and we ain't doing nothing about it but telling each other about it. That's right. We have to do something about it, not just talk. Real action. Right. So, we're going to have a few speakers come up just to inspire us a little bit before our main speaker. Now, our normal meetings won't be in this forum. They'll probably be at a church or a school, and we'll be conducting business. But for our first meeting, we want to just have some live fireside chat from some of our pastors and our NAACP. Is that a problem? Everybody okay with that?
Yes, sir.
So we're going to start off. I'm going to break up the cycle a little bit and see if I can bring up Paul Carey to say a few words about the Catholics. Hotep. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
20 years ago, I was able, because of the will of God, to be a part of history. I was a part of the local organizing committee 20 years ago that got on the bus here in Harrisburg and rode to the Million Man March in Washington, D.C. We came back, and just like every other major city, we started out pretty good. We did pretty good. Then the devil got into details.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And the next thing I know, city after city after city, people just, like he said, talked. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. And of course, that's our fault. That's our fault. Because if we don't understand our history, then we continue to become a victim of our history. All right? It's very important. For those of you who aren't aware of Sankofa 21, if you have a DVR, go ahead and set it up for Sunday morning at 6 o'clock on CBS. I'm on discussing what we're about to do here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. There will be, within the next 2 years, another community center sponsored by Sankofa 21 here in Harrisburg. All right? So without getting into all the details and all of that, my heart and the emphasis right now is for us to understand that everybody in here is going to have to work.
That's right.
Exactly.
All right? There are no chiefs and little chiefs. We're all workers. So I'm not going to belabor the point. I want to encourage everyone in your heart to roll up your sleeves and get ready to make this happen. Now, listen to the words of the minister. Justice or else. If you didn't hear that Breakfast Club speech, I encourage all of you to go on to YouTube and listen to it. You really need to hear that, because he was in really rare form. He's always in rare form.
Yes.
But he was in really rare form because
I
it
watched
was
that.
a fireside type of
Crazy.
situation. And he spoke from the heart. And what he said basically is that, what are we just going to do? Just sit around and just allow our children to continue to be shot down? We have to understand the only thing in this country that really gets the attention of the establishment is money. That's where we need to start.
Exactly.
Now, I don't know if any of us in here have the will to walk 365 days to work at any point in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, to prove a point. But we have got to redirect funds for real.
That's right.
I'm not putting down any politicians. Everybody seems to be doing the best that they can do. But guess what? We have a bigger need.
That's right.
From 1865 to 2015, African Americans still only receive 1/2 of 1%
That's
of the
right.
economy of this country.
That's a
That's
fact.
I
right.
said
1/2 of 1%.
That's a fact.
of 1%.
That's right.
All right? So here's the change.
Man, we didn't advance.
All right? So we can't keep looking to other people. We got to look within. All right? The change has to start with us.
That's right.
We've got to begin to respect one another. All right? That's big. That's real big. So, good brother, I don't want to belabor the point. We got a lot of good people up here to speak. But if anybody wants to speak to me afterwards, feel free. But let's just keep the meeting moving. And I'm glad to see my fellow co-worker and brother here sitting right up front. And I call her family right there, because that's the agriculture lady.
That's right.
All right?
That's right.
All right. Thank you.
Paul. Thank you. Let me give you a couple names of rappers. You may not know all of them. I don't know a lot of them. I'm old school. I know Biggie. I know Tupac. But I want to tell you name some of these rappers who have been on board with the minister. And it's becoming a problem in America by the Jewish community. The Jewish community, because they're angry because the minister has linked up with the rappers. Why is that a problem? Well, who got the money? Who's leading the youth? If Minister Farrakhan has the rappers, then everybody's going to follow on Minister Farrakhan.
Exactly.
And the Jews do not want that to happen. But let me just name some names. Rick Ross, I do know him. The Game, 2 Chainz, Young Thug, Scarface, I know him, he old head too. Kanye West, Damon Dash, Jay Electronica, Flex Alexander, Daphne Waynes, Dante Whitfield, Killer Mike, Big Grit, Big Boy, Ice Cube, Sway, Little. Oh boy, I'm getting old. Bybee, Halo Moolah, Bone Crusher, and I know these, Snoop, Public Enemy, Russell Simmons, and I know that. So you see the rappers are, and that's just a couple of the rappers, but they're there, they're supporting the minister, they're putting their money behind it, and that's big money. Their money is long. And they can easily, if they unite, change our financial condition overnight. And that's what the minister is doing. So let's hear from, a community activist, that's what I'm calling. Let's get our brother, Unique Musa.
Lord bless. Before I begin, I have to first, before I'm able to speak, I have to ask my elders, is it okay for me to speak? And that's where we lost the way of understanding. First, getting the respect of our elders before we even open our mouths. So I asked my elders today, is it okay if I speak?
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate that. So, before I begin, I just want y'all to know my reason today from the invite from Brother D.R.A.M.A was to speak to let y'all know that we know about the injustice of the deaths that were caused by police in the beginning of 2015. But see, I reside in the city of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Come on.
And in 2015, there has not been a death by the police officer on a black life. The black lives taken in the city of Harrisburg is from black lives.
That's right. Come on. Come on.
That's right.
So what I'm saying is that for me to see this, I have to point it out. I have to understand that there got to be a change about black lives. See, because we're quick to grab a sign and hold them up and say Black Lives Matter. But when do they matter?
Come on.
So with me, Black Lives Matter when Black Lives begin.
That's right.
See, I know, like, to understand about Black Lives, I go on Facebook, I go on YouTube, I go on World Star Hip Hop, and what I see is exploitation of black lives.
Exactly.
And it ain't no white person behind that camera.
Right, brother.
It's another black life.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
And when I see the black fight that they follow blocks and blocks and blocks, cheering it on and laughing at the loser, when did that black life matter? And when I see a young black sister who may be under the influence of a narcotic and she's naked, but he got that camera and he's exploiting her and he's talking about her, and they saying, do you see her body parts? When did her life matter?
Exactly.
So when black lives matter, it has to matter when lives begin. So brother, me, I came with the understanding, and I came to Brother Muhammad, Kenneth Muhammad, and I told Brother Muhammad what I wanted to do. Brother Muhammad said, you know, I've been wanting to do something like that myself. So he asked me to talk to his minister, and I did that. And I came to these brothers in links and hands, man, because we got to bring a unity, a force.
That's right.
We got to connect. We can't keep thinking that it's about I.
That's right.
You know, because like, I come from a drug life where I used to be a drug dealer in the streets. I served 25 years in prison.
Come on, brother. Come on.
And in that time, when I served a 13 years and 5-month sentence, I began to realize that I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to come out here and live civilly. So I came out and started an organization in 2004 called Unique Touch. Because they said King Midas, everything he touched turned to gold. So everything Unique Touch is going to turn unique.
That's right.
Come on. Come on.
So
brother.
I'm trying to form collectively this Sunday, the first held in Harrisburg, 1,000-man march. Because it's collectively for us to understand that we're going to march in D.C. as 1 million men. And I remember when that first march took off, I was sitting in the penitentiary watching this. And these people came together for a Day of Atonement.
That's right.
Because they said we can't come together collectively. And every time we come together, it's violence.
That's right. Teach me.
And it really hurt America to see us come together
Come on.
for that 1 million man march
Come on, God.
in harmony.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like he said, race after race, gender after gender,
That's right.
creed after creed, religion after religion, came together collectively to stand in tone for a Day of Atonement. So I'm seeking for the first time in Harrisburg that I need brothers to come out. So because we need to atone. Brother, we got to stop killing ourselves. See, because what I also studied was the water buffalo over several hundred years became extinct. But guess what I also started to study and realize? That black lives today are more extinct than the water buffalo. Now that's crazy. So we're dying off. We're dying off. And it's okay because we seem to accept that. I was out yesterday passing out flyers and I talked to Brother Lavelle on the phone and I walk up to a brother and he's like, oh, I don't want that. I'm like, wow, brother. I mean, you didn't even know what's on the paper. It could have been a key to $1 million on that paper for you. But you rejected it. Why? Because a black man was handing it to you?
Come on.
So, again, I'm looking at, you got an automatic hate for me and don't even know me.
Exactly.
Then I came over here to Jazzland because I know a lot of black brothers hang out there. I'm handing them out. You know, brothers took them. But one brother balled it up while I'm talking to him. And I was like, oh, you just gonna ball that up like that while I'm talking to you? But it's cool, because I understand, because see, I know what I'm working with. Your mental, man, ain't really all together. See, because you find focus inside that beer can. So you can't really concentrate on understanding, so your focus is low. But I understand, because I used to be there too.
That's right.
Then I have another individual who took the paper from me as well. He gonna holler across the street like he's making a mockery. Well, bro, what you gonna go to the march too? Bro, you think you making a mockery of me?
Come on, brother.
Because I'm gonna be a man to stand up for my people because I love you. And I want us to come together. I don't want to see no more of us spending 25 years in prison.
Come on, brother.
Because I went in at 16, came out at 37. And that's where my life was at. So when we talk about black lives, and they matter, when do they matter? When black lives begin. So hopefully together, brother, we can link, and I'm gonna finish this up real quick. Hopefully organizations like mine, like Mr. Kevin's, and everybody else in here, we can take these organizations, and we got to form a unit. We got to form a committee, and we have to become a meeting and start meeting so we can start setting up plans of dates so we don't all clash and start doing all the same thing and give every part of the city opportunities to come out so we can, you know, form these committees for ourselves and know that these people can no longer be in control of us. We are control of us. And we look for us to support us.
That's right.
So, you know, Sunday y'all come out, I'll be able to finish my speech longer. But again, I thank all y'all for coming out. Thank my elders for allowing me to speak.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate all y'all for listening. And hopefully, man, together, y'all know that this is the first step. So we're going to take this stage to the next stage. And hopefully, you know, eventually we'll be up here.
That's right. At the
Like the
pinnacle.
brother, when he came up, he said, Motep, we're going to talk about the comedic nature and what that means. Because a lot of us don't even know what that means. I don't know what that brother said for real. We like, see?
Teaching, brother. Teaching.
That's right.
And that's the mercy that we want to talk about. And these are the things we got to come to understand. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. We'll keep it going. I'm going to call up Kev. Kev, can you come on up and say a few words? We're going to limit our comments just for 2 minutes. And I see Apostle Overseer came in. Let's give her a round of applause.